Howdy, howdy ho. At this point, this franchise is so massive that I barely even need an intro to describe it. It's Call of Duty. What I will tell you is that I actually embraced COD's exo-suit era, and I've been around since COD 4. Yeah, the original Modern Warfare, and I should preface by saying I genuinely enjoyed the franchise's technological leap forward with the Modern Warfare 2019 reboot. But does Modern Warfare 2 enjoy this same advancement of the series, or are we back to copy-pasta vibes? This is the first thing you'll do if you're a mature adult. Then you'll get to aiming and shooting. Except here's the thing, the feel of the guns has been further refined to look, sound, and feel correct. I say correct with some nuanced sarcasm because this is a video game, and I personally know what firing a rifle chambered in 5.56 feels like, and also 7.6 too. The nuance is because this is the most accurate digital depiction of firing guns I've yet to see, even if the recoil is still comically low. This does a lot for the immersion feel, and I have to applaud them for further refining this beyond MW 2019. From there, though, the most exciting gameplay you're gonna have is the campaign. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I was surprised at how well they kept changing it up to keep it from getting boring. Simply put, don't skip it. Of course, once you're done with that, you're gonna head into multiplayer, and things start to head downhill here. The first and primary issue is that the gun progression system is absolute ass. No, I'm not speaking hyperbole. In an effort to force you to use the different guns the game offers, many attachments and unlocks are locked behind other guns. Yeah, you're gonna have to suffer using guns you don't want to use in order to get to the guns and attachments you do want. As if that doesn't make things already painful, you should also know that this might be the most aggressive SBMM, skill-based matchmaking, I've encountered. If you do even remotely well, it overcorrects. Yep, look at this scoreboard and tell me you don't see the problem tossing me and my 10 to 15 hours of multiplayer into a lobby of 100+ hour sweats. To make matters worse, the probably 5 matches of pain uphill swing is then overcorrected yet again on the downhill swing, and you end up just stomping people for a few. Combine this with maps that I've always found inferior to the more distinct lane setup of Treyarch's multiplayer maps, and you've got a seriously infuriating recipe. Meditate. You're gonna need to if you play solo queue multiplayer like I do, and then pray they adjust the SBMM metrics. The campaign itself ends a little abruptly at about 5 hours, lending itself to an obvious continuation. Where you get most of your time is in the multiplayer, but there seems to be a bit of a balancing act here. For one, there is no novelty mode. Warzone 2.0 is apparently what they're relying on to fill in the gap, but that's free to play. What somewhat makes up for it is the continued use of co-op missions, but there are only 3 and they don't take long to clear whatsoever. The rest is the usual assortment of modes, with Ground War providing instead a more Battlefield-like experience as opposed to its older iterations of simply more people on a map. Basically, you've got enough, but nothing close to, say, the likes of Black Ops 3. This section is actually rather easy to summarize, not quite as refined as Modern Warfare 2019. The biggest issue is easily that this is a cross-gen game, which means the underpinnings are resource limited by older hardware. This is very apparent in the pop-in of assets in the campaign, and the overall less aggressive lighting in multiplayer, which provides a somewhat more stale, cartoon-like appearance to keep the frame rate up. They also still use pre-rendered cinematics, but ironically at a graphical level that's quite close to possible on current-gen hardware. The good news, of course, is that this means the game runs a near solid frame rate on current-gen hardware, as I almost never detected a single frame rate hitch. What really needs some work, though, is the campaign story. I think we're starting to take a step back relying on campy and generic military tropes of betrayal. We need a real villain.
Ghost, do you have a son?
If you're one of those people who just passes off Call of Duty because you figure it's the same thing every year, you're clearly not playing the games and don't know what you're talking about. But if you said Modern Warfare 2 doesn't quite hit the highs of Modern Warfare 2019, then you're onto something. While the gunplay is refined to the most realistic feel it's ever been, and the campaign keeps things interesting, the awful multiplayer gun progression, aggressive SBMM, and slight step behind its predecessor in every way simply hold this game back from advancing the series properly. I give Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 a 7 out of 10. I'll see you next time on the Gaming Vibe.